Welcome back to another week and another video. I hope your week's been well. Happy Sunday. Today, I want to talk about something that's quite a big topic of conversation in the photography sphere at the minute, and that is AI and how it affects photos, and is it going to affect street photography, and what do I think of AI in general. And I think for the most part, my opinions align with a lot of photographers out there. But there are some interesting elements to AI. Working in tech 9 to 5, I do work with AI quite a bit. So being able to understand AI as not just a big bad wolf that's going to take over the entire photography world is quite interesting from my perspective to see both sides. So I kind of want to talk about that. The first thing I want to talk about is, do I use AI in my images? And to absolutely clarify, all of my images that I shoot are as shot. I do not add anything with AI. I do not remove anything with AI. Especially with street photography, I feel like you're capturing the moment, you're capturing the essence of that scene. Adding anything and removing anything is going to mess with the authenticity, and I feel like a lot of people feel the same way shooting at street photography, and I feel like it's going to be very hard for AI to take over street photography, because the whole thing is you're capturing emotion, you're capturing a scene as it was, as you saw it, you're capturing the everyday. AI can't replicate the everyday very well because it's as you see it. Sure, it can come up with a scene and a pretty picture, but I don't feel like it can encroach onto street photography too much. What I do feel like it can do very well though, and I feel like a lot of people will start to use this, is in product photography. Not so much shooting the product itself, but if you wanted to change the background, change the look of the image, I feel like a lot of people will start to use AI in that regard, and I can't really blame them. If you're taking a photo of a bottle of perfume or a bottle of aftershave or a vodka bottle or anything like that a lot of people do when they're shooting product photography, it's very hard to get the look right in the image unless you have a massive studio set up with various backdrops, tons of lighting. But with AI, you can do that with a couple of clicks, and I feel like it allows more people to do that style of photography on a lot smaller budget, meaning that people can make money by shooting product photography a lot easier. And I feel like the commercial space will start to adopt AI a lot more because of the ease of use with it. And I don't see that as a real bad thing, purely because it's product photography and you're still showing the product off, you're showing the real product, just changing elements around it to make it look better, make it look more premium and stuff like that. But for my photography, I absolutely do not use it for anything like that. But AI can be used for other things as well, and I think it's important to note the other things that you can use AI for and the things that I do use AI for. I use AI a lot for planning elements and stuff like that. If I'm trying to think of a theme of a photo or a photo walk, then I might ask Copilot or ChatGPT to come up with some ideas for the weather outside. I might be like, it's raining today, tell me some good locations to visit around London to take street photographs. Stuff like that, and it will give me a list, and it's quite interesting to look at. I can show you it right now. I've got my iPad down here. It's already logged into Copilot, which is basically Microsoft's version of ChatGPT if you haven't used it, and I'm gonna say it's cold but sunny, which is what it is today. Give me some locations around central London to shoot street photography. But then I'm also going to say my street photography style relies on contrast and shadow. And now once I've typed that, I can send that off to Copilot and it gives me some different areas to shoot. For example, Soho, which we go to quite a lot, especially in the evening times. You got Brick Lane, which I've never taken you guys to, but another very typical place to go and shoot. The South Bank, which you're going to get a whole video on very soon as we get a nice sunny day. And I'm going to be shooting just on the South Bank because that's absolutely a treasure trove of photography possibilities there. You got Regent Street, and it tells you different things Like Regent Street, the long shadows cast by the buildings, especially in the early morning or late afternoon, can create beautiful contrast. Camden Town, although it can get crowded, Camden Town is full of unique characters and vibrant street scenes. The market area is particularly lively. And then you've got Notting Hill. The colourful houses on Portobello Road Market offer a visually rich environment for street photography. Piccadilly Circus, the neon lights and video screens at night create a very captivating scene, whilst early morning photo shoots benefit from long shadows. All of those different things. And then, if that's not quite what you want, you can then go, give me different areas. I want to focus on shadows and silhouettes. And then I'll send that off, and it will give me St Paul's Cathedral, Leadenhall Market, Millennium Bridge, Covent Garden, the British Museum, Tower Bridge, Canary Wharf, National Gallery, the Shard and Hyde Park. All places which I have shown on the channel and very good locations to go and shoot. And it gives you different reasons why you should go and shoot there. So for me, I use AI a lot for that. But there are tons of different things you can do as well. If I start a new chat, for example, if I want to analyze images that I've shot in the past that I can't remember how they were edited or something like that, I can then upload images to these sorts of programs as well. So let me pick an image out of my very, very long list. I will then pick this one. I took this photo in Brussels, which there is a video on the channel if you want to check it out. And then I'm going to ask Copilot, give me the street photography techniques used in this image. And as you can see, it will then upload the image and also analyze it based on what I've done. So you've got silhouettes and shadows, which is pretty obvious as just silhouettes in this image. The frames of the windows and the subjects directing the viewer's eye towards the silhouettes, and the scene outside. This technique helps focus the attention on the main elements. The color contrast, the red and blue hues in the background make the image visually appealing. It's a candid moment. The subjects are unaware of the camera. The use of reflections as it was taken through a window, which it was. It's quite interesting to understand because sometimes you take a photo just for taking a photo's sake. And then looking back at it, you're like, well, that also includes this technique and that technique. And a lot of people, especially me, I will ask people also in the photography scene, hey, what do you think of this image? Or, hey, what do you think of that image? And how can it be improved? And some people have got that, but some people don't. So sometimes you might want a different analysis of an image rather than just your own thoughts. So how can it be improved is another thing that we can ask. And it will go away and it'll say, look, play with the angles, experiment with different focus lengths, adjust your lighting so there is more balance between the shadows and the highlights, all of that sort of stuff. And you can do that with any image you've got, and it works quite well. There's another thing you can do as well. Say you really like an image that you've seen online, and say you've seen one of my photographs and you really like how that's edited. Well, you can ask it to create XML files, and in case you don't know what an XML file is, it's basically what Lightroom uses to import presets. So if you want to edit a photo like I do, then you can create that, and I'll show you just what I mean. If I start a new chat, I'm going to upload an image. I'm going to upload this image of a scene in Turin. And I'm going to say, I like how this image is edited. Would you be able to analyze the image and create me an XML file with all of the adjustments made. So I can recreate it in Lightroom. And just like that, it will do the same thing as it always does, analyze the photo, but it will then give you various different adjustments. And for some of them, bearing in mind XMLs and presets and all that are just a baseline to edit, but they can be quite strikingly similar, considering all you're doing is uploading a JPEG or a screenshot of an image. As you can see, it's given me absolutely tons of different changes here in the XML code. It tells you the tone curve, it tells you the adjustments to make. You've got split toning, all this different stuff, which you can then save as an XML file, upload it into Lightroom on the desktop, and create it your own different way. And it will come out quite similar. If you've got a raw image that looks similar, it will make the scene look very similar to how this is shot. It's quite interesting. Now, it doesn't work perfectly. That's a given. It can't tell just from a JPEG every single adjustment that has been made from a raw file, but it can tell you what it can see through analysis. And it can show you, based on every change made, what you can do in Lightroom, and all you need to do is save it, import it as a preset, call your preset what you want it to be, and there you go. You've got a baseline to work from to edit your images like mine, or any other photographer that you inspire to be. And because it's sort of just giving you a baseline and not basically copying it like for like, you can make your own adjustments from there and make the image unique to yourself while still having that same look and feel. Say someone has really nailed the look of summer in their edits, and they really edit their scenes like an 80s movie with bright lights and neon, and it's proper summer feel-good look, and you want that sort of look, but you want to edit it yourself, then you could do that as a baseline, change some bits around and how your photos look from the raw file, and just create your own version of it, which I think is quite interesting. And building on top of that, maybe you don't want to recreate someone's image, but you want to find out what the pros are doing to their own. You can use AI as a very competent learning curve, really. It can teach you quite a lot of things, especially if you're starting from nothing, about cameras, about editing, about different settings that you need to adjust on your camera for different techniques and different conditions. Say if you want to learn how to shoot better at night photography, you can ask Copilot or ChatGPT or other AI tools. You can ask them what settings your camera needs to have, or what settings you need to change on your camera to do better night shots and stuff like that. It's a very competent learning tool because it analyzes the web for different results, and it's not always going to be 100% accurate. That is a given. It's AI. It can be quite inaccurate at times, but for the broad, well-known details, if you're starting off from scratch, it can give you the basics in a very easy to access tool. Rather than scouring the internet for different articles on different websites, you can just go to AI and tools like Copilot and let it do it all for you, which I feel like is very good for beginners and a very easy way of learning new things, not just with photography, but with anything, really. And then from there, say you've edited your images and all that from a preset, or you've got a finished image that you want to upload, whether it be to a website, Instagram, whatever. It's also very good at sort of analyzing trends and patterns. So you can ask it, what's a trending hashtag on Instagram? And it will give you that to the most up-to-date knowledge that it has. And it's usually quite good. Hashtags aren't everything, and getting your images out there to everyone isn't anything, but it is quite important, especially if you're trying to grow a portfolio, to have different things like that and uploading them to different locations. So I've got a website and I've got all of my images uploaded in galleries on my website that I think are good enough to be on the website. Every single one of those images, to be able to show up better in search via Google or Bing or anything like that, they have to have a thing called alt text. And asking Copilot to analyze an image and to give a couple of sentences for alt text is also really, really helpful. It makes images show up in search. It'll allow my zine to show up in search on the storefront, all that different sort of stuff. And it's really helpful for different things like that. The admin side of photography, if you have to do it, being able to streamline the process through AI is also really helpful. As a whole, it's a very hard topic to just be on one side of the fence, because in some ways, yes, photography is about capturing the moment, editing your photos with AI and changing elements of it to make it not what you captured. In certain environments like street photography or anything like that, it ruins the whole point of it. Photography is a whole experience about getting out there with your camera and just experiencing the surroundings. And if you're adjusting different things or adding someone to a scene to make your image look better or removing someone, vice versa, it's taking away from that whole experience. But at the same time, it can be really helpful for learning and for adjusting and all of that sort of stuff after the photo was taken. So if you want to learn how to do new techniques, or you've seen a photo online that you want to replicate in terms of editing process, all of these different things are available to you very easily. And I don't think that should be slept on at all. So yes, while AI can be an absolute pain for those that are trying to make a name for themselves in photography by doing it all a certain way and doing it all legit, and then you've got these people that are completely falsifying their photos. At the same time, those tools are out there for everyone to use, and they can be really, really helpful. They're my views on it. I wouldn't never use AI to adapt my photos in any way. They are all as shot, but I do use it for various other things like understanding techniques used in my own images and creating alt text and all that stuff that I've shown you. So let me know what you think. Do you use AI in your images at all, or do you think that it'll die out? Do you think it's going to take over photography completely? Let me know down below in the comments, but thank you so much for watching. Until next Sunday, have a great week. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.